Susie.
Hi, Sarah.
Looking like a teenage dream over there.
You say that to all the girls.
Only the pretty ones. And the smart ones.
Welcome to the show. It's episode 315. Sarah, hello.
Yes. 3:15 was the time that I was born.
No, in the morning or afternoon?
Afternoon, which also was the time that our bell would ring at school. So every time on February 25th when the bell would ring, I'd be like, it's my birthday.
Oh, my God. That's real cute.
Yeah.
That seems like a lucky time.
What time were you born? Do you know?
Just after midnight, 12:11
Oh,
a.m.
after midnight. We'll let it all hang out.
What song is that?
I know it's a song.
We just don't know which one.
Yeah.
Before we started recording, Sarah had asked me what I was doing today, going to do today after we're done recording, and I saved it for recording because it's, you know, I wanted to make you guys super jealous.
Tell us.
I'm
hanging on the edge of my seat here.
We, as a family, are going to a Minecraft convention.
Oh, my God.
It's called
You're going to need
Fair.
to document this for sure.
I'll have to put this in my Insta story for all of you, so you
Oh
can,
my God, this
even
is
if
great.
you can't be there, you can live vicariously through me and my joy.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I am so interested to see what the makeup of this crowd is.
How many of the cons have you been to? Have you ever been to a con of some kind?
I have been to I don't think so. I mean, I've been to the Evolution of Psychotherapy conference,
Oh my God.
which was like the Super Bowl for psychotherapists, and I
True.
loved it.
Okay.
But that is, I feel like I have been to a Comic-Con. No, I just dated a guy who went to one. I probably lied to him and told him I went to one. That would be a move that I did back in the day.
Yeah, I would still do that.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Whatever.
I totally go to Comic-Cons. Yeah.
Adam, last year, he was working on a job and he went to DragCon.
Oh my God, now there's a fun one.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to
Oh,
go to.
ew, I went to Reality Con.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's when I
right.
met
Caitlyn Jenner,
Caitlyn Jenner.
who was Bruce at
I almost
the
said
time.
Kendall Jenner. Yeah, not Kendall.
What
Caitlyn.
was Reality Con like?
It was it was in one room. It wasn't like a big room, like a big conference kind of room.
Yes, yeah.
And there were it was one of those things where the VIP section that was sectioned off like wasn't so VIP, you know. They just put up like they just sectioned off one corner of the room. And like instead in that section the tables were covered with tablecloths rather than nothing at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like that. And we were on a panel, like we went into another room and spoke with some like news outlets or magazine outlets, things like that, and media outlets, I guess you'd call it, and with like Caitlyn and Kris Jenner and things like that. But so some
Were they like the
was-
headliners?
Yeah, I think so.
And what
Yeah.
were you, the opener?
No, probably. No, we were on a panel together. But no, I was just like there in the background for I don't know why. Honestly,
Did you
I
get
was
paid?
there. I don't think so. Maybe like $200. Nothing.
What?
Like that. I know this was at the time when I just got off the show.
Yeah.
And I was like saying yes to everything and accepting every friend request on Facebook. Like it was like that.
Who is it, do you know, that puts it together?
I have
Who's
no
running
idea.
that? And how many?
But it wasn't well run. It was like
Yeah.
it was just insane.
Nothing
you know.
could be worse than that thing that we went to in Hollywood.
Oh my God! Please tell them about that right this second.
What the hell was that thing called?
I don't. It was some like
It was
meet and
reality
greet.
based, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. It was some sort of
Yeah.
quasi celebrity mini convention, and our friend Christy, that's a brainiac, met us there. That's where we met her for the first time.
Oh God, poor Christy.
Oh my
Having
God.
to just deal with us and that and
We
our
go
non-celeb
in.
status.
And, you know, we're supposed to be on the guest list of the celebrities invited. And celebrity is very loosely used.
I
in
was
these-
just, you stole the words out of my mouth. I'm like, we use that term very loosely.
And we go up, and Sarah, tell them about what happened when you were checking in.
We check in, and they go, "You're not on the list." Is that how it goes down?
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. And yes.
Basically, she accused you of not being a celebrity.
Right. She said, no, this event is for like
VIPs.
People who were like, and I'm like, yeah, that's us. That I'm sorry to inform you, but we are the people you are looking for. And and the worst is when you're trying to argue that you are a D-list celebrity. And I'm looking around, I'm like, Mr. Belding is 40 feet away, and Kel from Keenan and Kel is here. So I don't know what you think the bar is.
Well, that's what's weird is, do you know how low you have to be turned away at this? Where she's like, I'm sorry, you're not famous enough. Meanwhile, the people that are supposedly famous you've never even heard of.
Right. I mean, she really was. There were a few lines that she said that were, I mean, I can't even remember what they are, but to paraphrase, like, you're not famous enough.
Right.
Or
and
like,
we're like, we know.
We're like, I know, you're right. But somehow, magically, I'm supposed to be here.
Right. You invited us. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It was super awkward.
Oh, it's the worst.
And then you go around to all these different booths and they're hawking their products. I mean, they're really giving them away. These, I don't know, it's almost like Shark Tank rejects.
It's totally what it is. And they're supposed to, they do these like gifting suites where they'll have, they'll have regular people who win some sort of contest where for some reason the prize is meet and greets with these D-list celebrities. And then they invite products and like companies and retailers or whoever it is, not retailers, but like people who have a new product and they want people to take pictures with them to promote them.
Yeah.
So those people probably pay to have a booth or a tent and they give away free stuff and they go, can we get a picture of you with these candles that look like ice cream cones? And you're like, sure. And then the worst is that they have 2 tiers of like gifts that they give out to people. Remember this with the bracelets, Suze?
Yeah.
So it's like they'll take a picture with you with like the nice item, and then they're like, here you go, here's like one of ours. And it like the nice bracelets were these big leather cuffs that were like real cool and had like nice buckles and all this cool stuff. And then like we were like, oh yeah, that's great, I love this one. And they were like, here you go, and hand us this. It's like a leather scrap with
it's
a
like the
D-ring
thing your
on
kid
it.
makes in kindergarten for Mother's Day.
Like summer camp was like, here you go, we made this. And you're like, what? And that was I'm like, what? No, this is.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. And it's like the quality of it looks like it had just been in the clearance section at Target, the very bottom. And everybody's like, it's lost its tag and it's gotten a little bit of dust bunnies on it. And they're like, here you go.
It's totally humiliating, but we did make the best of it. We
God.
had a fun time, but my God, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
What's not embarrassing is how cute we look in our Fabletics gear.
Oh, so cute. I love it. It's my
their
go-to
stuff.
airport style.
Yeah, right? Because it's comfy, but you don't look like a bum.
And guess who's a proud owner of those pants now?
You finally pulled the trigger.
I did. I got them.
What do you think?
Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy. And I can bend over and you can totally wear them as pants and they're not see-through and they got the little zippers on the side. I freaking love it. Bye.
Yes. We need to... I'm going to post a picture of you in those pants because they're really cute. They're great. I wore them rock climbing, but you can also just wear them out wherever you're going. You can dress them up, dress them down. They have tons of different leggings. And here's something that I've learned because now I've been wearing them a long time and I've been wearing them a lot. This is super high quality stuff that does not... You know how sometimes you wear something a few times and then it's garbage?
Yeah.
Fabletics stuff is super high quality even though it's affordable. And to me, that's crucial.
Yeah, it does a pill. You know when like sometimes between... Well, you don't know about this because your legs don't rub together. But mine do. And you get sometimes the fabric will pill. And this does not.
Yes. That's a big deal. Yeah.
Huge.
Fabletics is your one-stop shop for affordable athletic wear. And whether you go to the gym or you're just running around and want to be comfortable and look cute, Fabletics is the way to go. And they're giving our listeners such a good deal. I tell everybody I know this even off the air, which is that you get 2 pairs of leggings for only $24. It's a $99 value when you sign up for a VIP program. Just go to fabletics.com/braincandy. Take advantage of that deal. That's fabletics.com/braincandy to get 2 leggings for only $24. Also free shipping on orders over $49. And to me, that's such a great deal. Fabletics.com/braincandy. They have all different stuff. I love their joggers. I got a hat.
Oh, yeah. Joggers, great.
Really cute stuff. You will love it. And they're high quality and affordable. So that's awesome. Cool. I wanted to ask you, since we were on the subject of embarrassing things about being us.
Yeah.
Do you have a thing from being well known from the show that was the most embarrassing moment or anything like that?
Oh,
Have
yes.
You ever had, yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'll tell you one.
Fact, I do.
As a matter of fact, I do. So,
Okay.
as you know, Suze, you've probably experienced this, where people come to you and they'd be like, do I know you from somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
And they'll play like did we go to school together?
Yeah.
Did we work together? And the answer is always, oh, no, I was on, The Real World and,
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. That's right, blah, 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 blah. Well, once I was in the grocery store in, where was I? I think I was in where I'm living now. And a girl runs into me and she's like, oh, my gosh, Sarah, I know you, like she knew me. She's like, I know you from somewhere. Like, she didn't know my name, I think. She was like, oh, my God, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, did the whole spiel of like, oh, yeah, I was in The Real World. And she goes, no,
that's
you
not
went to
it.
what? You went to Redwood. And I'm like, yes, I did. She knew me from middle school. And now I'm the dickhead who's like, you knew me from television. And she actually knew me from middle school. Because that's always the answer that's usually what people think, and it's not right.
Oh, my God.
And she was right. And I was like, oh, God, yes, you're right. And then I had to do this whole, well, usually people say that, but then, and then I was just embarrassed.
But you can't win, though, because if you say, oh, I don't know, and they do know you from TV, when they figure it out, they think you're being an asshole by not just telling them.
Right. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, you feel we're such losers. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Being on these shows is so embarrassing. I've never felt like, wow, I'm really proud of.
Listen, I am so proud of what we do on the podcast. I'm so proud of what doors being on the show has opened for me, where I can go and speak out about the things that I want to talk about, and I can, whatever.
There are numerous blessings.
So many blessings.
Mm-hmm. But
that I got to be the Grand Marshal of the Long Beach Pride Parade. Yes, so great. But just being a cast member on reality television is embarrassing as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Just as you maneuver in the world, and you know that people might know, and they probably don't respect it.
Yeah.
It kind of adds another thing that you have to overcome in a weird way.
I was sitting at the bar in Hawaii waiting for my to-go food, and and I'm trying to do this new thing where I don't take out my phone and I just be in the world. Imagine that. So I'm like sitting there waiting for to-go food, and I wasn't even drinking wine or anything like that, so I didn't have that to occupy myself. So I'm just sitting, like looking at the TV, and there's this older gentleman next to me, and there's some reality show on, and he goes, "Can you believe these reality show clowns?"
Oh my God, no!
And I was like,
"No,
I can't." End of conversation.
Do you think he knew or no?
No, absolutely not. Definitely not.
He said clowns.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And I was like, oh, you don't even know the half of it.
How old was he?
Oh, 60 plus.
Did you reveal the truth?
No. Because then it's a whole thing. And then he's going to go, oh, what show? Oh, and the thing that he was talking about was like a show it was like a Discovery Channel reality show, like the gold digger stuff, like the gold rush stuff. It wasn't
They're not even true clowns like us.
Right. Like they're not. And so exactly. And I'm like, oh God, if he really knows, And he's not. I'm gonna say, oh, I was on The Real World. He goes, oh, what was that?
I don't know that
and then
show.
I'm gonna go, yes, and I'm
That's
like,
always the worst.
I didn't watch that. Yeah, I know. I'm not. Everybody always has to apologize for not watching our show to me, and then I feel like, look, this is what I say to my friends, because my friends will say, oh my God, I didn't watch your show. I didn't, and I'm like, look, if I worked at a bank, if I worked at Bank of America and you banked with Wells Fargo, would you feel the need to apologize to me for where you banked? No.
Right.
That's how I feel with this. I don't care who you watch. This is my job. You're my friend in real life. You don't need to apologize for not,
I can't, like, when friends like Matt Neroni or my friend Val tell me that they listen to the podcast or refer to something we talk about on the show, I'm always like, wow, that's so nice that they listen to our show.
Same. Shout out to all of my friends who are listening right now.
Yeah, it's really
you
nice.
Guys. I love them all.
But the reality thing can be a real weird thing. That's why
what's your embarrassing moment?
Oh my God.
You've got to have one.
The worst one. And I have a lot of them.
Tell me all of them.
The other thing is you're on The Real World where people at least usually know what that show is. Road Rules is not as well known. So I have to caveat, I was on Road Rules, which is the sister show of Real World.
Those things are so annoying to have to do.
Right. The most embarrassing was when, not too long after I did my first show, I was asked to come to a university and speak. It was in Boston. I think it was Boston University. And Chadwick from my season and I were paid to do an appearance. We had to prepare what we were going to talk about. It was back before it was just like, how was that show? You actually had to have something to talk about.
Like a platform. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we had to prepare, and it was a big thing. And we were in the green room, and the handler came back and was like, okay, the audience is waiting. They are very keen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's great. We go out, and there were 2 people in this giant auditorium.
Suze!
Yep.
Oh, 2 is not good.
2. Because if nobody came, you'd think, well, maybe they didn't announce it or there's confusion.
Oh, no.
Nope. That's just the crowd I draw, Sarah.
Oh, God. Suze,
and then we had to still do it.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
2 people. And they probably felt obligated to be engaged, and it was just a whole scene. That is bad.
I've had the audience of 5 at a speak about like a sexual abuse.
Was it in like a big auditorium?
No, thank God they moved. It was just in a small room, and we turned it into like a little panel discussion. You just got to change the format because you can't. You got to do like round table. More like
you
interactive. You have to, or else it.
Nobody wants
for
to
all
be.
Participants.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but I get it. Nobody wants to come out to talk about sexual abuse. But
it's not
hey, meet the people from the show. That should have pulled a crowd.
Well, that's why once they switched it to be bar appearances, I think things improved. I wasn't going to do them, but I think that made it.
I blame bad advertising because you should have had a full room.
Sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it is just that maybe you don't match the demo of the school or whatever.
Totally.
And it's just a bad fit all across the board.
Unfortunately, I don't match the demo of a bar, so I never got any of those. I, no joke, had 2 appearances at bars.
I think I did
in my entire Real World, and one of them I didn't even get paid. Like I got paid half. Like I didn't even get paid the full thing, and it was on my birthday, and it was local, and it was so dumb, and nobody showed up, and the band canceled. Oh God, it was so bad. And then I did one other one, and that was awful. I hated every second of it.
Well, what makes you hate it though? Just that you don't like bars?
I don't like that whole scene, and usually it's like they're looking for me to get people. I mean, I get it. It's like it's a money-making thing, and how do they make money? With selling drinks. And how do they get people to buy drinks when I say something crazy like, oh, are you going to buy a shot? I'm not doing that. I'm not promoting the mass consumption of alcohol. Mm-hmm. So
I can't imagine
not part of my brand, so then they stopped inviting me.
There's no way that
would you like to lecture? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's more your speed.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that the crowd leaves feeling like they had a good experience either, though. Unless they get to bang one of the guys or something.
Yeah, I think they do, though. I think they, well, yes, bang the guys, but also leave with a good experience. Like, I think, and I think it's I feel like it's the males that really drive those appearances.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So the guys bring the girls, and the girls bring the male, like, the guys come for the girls and the girls come for the guys, but...
Yeah. Yeah,
you know.
we're disposable.
Yeah, totally.
If you want to reminisce, though, about your reality stuff, don't you love using your Legacy Box digitized videos and
absolutely. We have all of our childhood photos on there now.
See? It's
all
so
of me and
great.
Landon's from our wedding.
I love that. If you have memories that you want to preserve and not just keep in your closet, Legacy Box is so great. And it's a great gift, too, if Mother's Day, Father's Day coming up. These are perfect gifts for your parents because your parents already have everything. They don't want any of your garbage ties and mugs. And if a lot of you guys grew up with VHS or the video reels or film reels, you can get them digitized through Legacy Box. It's such a great way to preserve your memories. And you send your stuff to them, they digitize it and send it back. They take good care. All the work is done by hand right here in the U.S., and there's never been a better time to digitally preserve your memories. Visit legacybox.com today to get started. Plus, for limited time, they're offering our listeners an exclusive discount. Go to legacybox.com/brain to get 40% off your first order. Go to legacybox.com/brain and save 40% today and get started preserving your past. I've been real nostalgic lately. Like thinking about, I think I'm having a midlife crisis.
Oh, no, that's not so nice.
I really do.
This is really not a good time for me to ask you a follow-up question from last week's episode or last episode.
What?
You asked me how I thought I was going to die, and I wanted to know, I've been thinking this whole time about how you think you would die. And I'm like, oh, bad segue.
I've always thought I was going to die tragically.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
I think
Susie, that's not part of our plan.
No. Sarah and I have a plan to recreate the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
And if I did die tragically, that would really throw a wrench into that.
Right. And I don't even mind playing 3 out of those 5 characters.
I know.
Or 4, however many. 1, 2, 3.
I have always felt that I was going to die tragically, but I think it's like a narcissistic thing. I don't know.
Like, just, is there a specific tragedy? Like how?
Like a car wreck.
Oh, no, Suze. No, I don't believe it. It's not.
Or maybe
not
murder. Maybe someone will murder me.
No! Not in the cards.
Not in the cards. The older I get, though, the more I'm like, wait, I'm almost nearing the age where it won't be tragic anymore.
Oh, my God, stop.
People just be like, well, she had a good run. Because there is an age at which, because I was thinking about your grandma and how she died at 99, just before her 100th birthday, and how there is a sense of, wow, that's really special, and she did have a really good long life. Mm-hmm. It's not tragic. At what age is it tragic until? What do you think?
Oh, this is a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like...
I think 70.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say like 65. Even that, 70. 70 is probably it.
Where it
Because I think about my aunt, and no, my aunt's 70 plus. Like, she's probably 75 now. And I think it would be tragic if she died. You know what I think it is? It's not so much the age, but it's the...
means.
Yeah, the means, and also what life that person had that was cut short. Like, my aunt is so active, is so social. She's got such a rich life. She is a docent at the Museum of Modern Art in Los Angeles. She goes on trips. She just got back from Mexico, where she was, like, going and eating at these great restaurants and, like, going to little, like craft fairs and stuff like that, and just having the time of her life. She just came back from Japan. Like, this woman is living it up. So if she were to pass away, God forbid, it would be really sad because she's like got so much like vitality and life still left in her. But if she were somebody who had, a lot of disease, or she was uncomfortable, or she was sick, or she was, like not as active, then it wouldn't seem as tragic.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot that can be considered when
and not like we have to put a value on one life over, like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you could do anything and make the most of it. It's not like, oh, you have to travel the world for it to be like a worthwhile life. But if you are just somebody, like, say you run a daycare and you're in your 70s or whatever, and you like are, or you love to volunteer with whoever, and you're just like living life and loving it, then maybe that's what keeps you alive.
No, I think you're onto something. That's really smart. Because I think of people in my life that are older but are super just beloved and care for others and do good work. And you would think, oh, my God, I don't want them to ever die. That's actually what, on the last episode when I was talking about Paul McCartney, I had a moment where I was listening to a Beatles song and I thought, if Paul dies, I don't think I'll be okay.
Oh.
You know, like, I really like that he's still in the world. Mm-hmm. And it made me think about that idea. He's not, I mean, he's old, but not terribly old. And so I'd really miss him, even though I don't know him.
You know, that's interesting that you say that, because I was driving in the car yesterday thinking about Prince. I was listening to some Prince music, and I was like, man, I love Prince.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about Queen.
Yes.
And I was thinking about how much I love Queen now. And remember when I was like, man, I don't even know if it's that great. And now I'm like obsessed.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw the movie. And I was thinking, like, I really, as morbid almost as this is to say, but I wish that I had love. Like, I wish I had the love and respect and admiration for these artists when they passed, so that I could have
honored
that.
them. Yeah.
Yes. Because now I feel like I really wish I got to, I would have just felt differently about her. Like, I really wish I would have gotten to, like, honor them, even, like, in my mind or in my own heart when they passed. I just didn't really appreciate them for, like, the geniuses that they were at the time when they passed away, whether it was because I, you know, didn't explore that artist that much or was too young or whatever. But, you know, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, I have this sense of, I'm really thankful for artists because they do improve our lives so dramatically. Oh, and so sometimes when it's a pop artist or, you know, some sort of artist that isn't considered, you know, fancy, then they might not get all the respect they deserve. And then when they're gone, you're like, oh, man, they made my life better.
Yeah. My mom says she was one of those, like, when John Lennon died, she, like, locked herself in a room for a week and just cried.
See, that's what I'm saying.
She was really, and my mom, like, was one of the like, little girls at the concert who was, like, passing out and crying.
For real? She saw them live?
Yeah.
Wait, did she actually go to a show?
Yeah, I think so. She's definitely told me that. She said that she was, like, one of those girls who was, like, freaking out and passing out, and that's why she was bawling her eyes out. And I think my aunt said that too, that when John Lennon passed away, it was, like, really devastating.
Yeah. But I get that because it is so much more than just they wrote songs that you like. Those songs are the soundtrack of your life.
Yes.
And so they paint that landscape of your identity and who you are as well.
You know, the only person who's really done it for me that's been like a celebrity but not a musician who I mourned the death of?
Who?
Can you guess?
I'm trying to think.
Not a celebrity, like on like famous
Mr.
person.
Rogers.
Yes!
No!
Susie! Dude, this is why we're best friends. That is it. I knew you were going to guess it too. Oh my God, I could cry right now at the thought. Oh, I'm getting verklempt.
He is worth mourning because he is a light.
Oh my God. And I, like, continue to mourn his death. When I watched the, the documentary now 3 times, every time I feel like that. I could cry right now, but that is totally it. That is the one.
Oh, that's such a good one. And so worthy of being honored and remembered. Yes.
And I've referred to him a lot recently because, talking about rituals and the importance of having, like, this transition time. You know, a lot of people just have so much stress in their job or, you know, and wherever. And it's hard to, you know, say you work as a nurse and you've got crazy hours. It's a really high stress job and you come home and you're still in like that nurse mode, and you're still in, like taking care of people mode. And then you come home and you have to be either a husband or a wife or whoever. And it's hard to like take that hat off and put the hat on of like a different role. So having a ritual, like a transition in between, whether it's when you get into your driveway, you listen to a song, or you when I get home, I'll take my ring off and then I'll put it back on to symbolize like, now you're in wife mode, not therapist mode. Mm-hmm. And I always use Mr. Rogers as an example of like, yes. How he came home and he would take off his jacket or put on his sweater and da-da-da-da-da, and why that's important. And everybody goes, oh, yeah, they get it when I talk about Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, he makes everything seem so just come naturally, but I have to be very intentional about that.
Yes. Oh, and it's especially difficult for you, Suze, because you work from home.
Yeah.
That is a really good point. It's very hard when you live and work in the same environment. Or if you work with your significant other.
Wait. Oh, my God. We talk about that all the time because we spend, I would say, 90% of our time in the same room even.
Yeah.
Adam and I. And so sometimes we'll go, though, hours and hours without even speaking because we're working, Yeah. And I'm like, don't you think it's weird that we're always together but like not really at all?
Right.
It's a strange thing.
And you got to create some sort of like ritual or some sort of,
yeah.
Whatever
we still have to have the thing in the evening where you go over your day. Like, here's what happened, and can you believe this, and whatever.
Yeah. And, I think what's good with that you guys do is there's so much music in the house.
Yeah.
That's kind of a nice way to know what's like family time where like there's music, and then when work time, it maybe is a different kind or,
I'm fascinated by families that really aren't into music or don't have it on very much.
What do you think that is?
Gosh, I met somebody one time who said, I'm really not into music.
I've met that person too.
What the fuck? It's like, what? Excuse me?
Yep.
I don't know. I can understand, like, I like this kind and you like this kind, but not liking music? What?
Maybe it has... do you think it has something to do with exposure?
It must.
Like I think about somebody who can dance.
Yeah.
Usually grew up in a family where they danced a lot and they, like...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Felt the music, and they're usually better. And like I think about even just learning how to play an instrument, and I'm like a beginner, but I have better rhythm now.
Yeah, right.
Way better.
Yeah, good
I can sing better. I have better rhythm. I can find the beat of a song better than I could, and it's because I feel like I'm training a part of my brain that's designed to listen to sound, like listen to music.
Yeah, right. More exposure, so now you're embracing it.
And then we see those animals who can dance, and they are like that when they're exposed to music from the like early in their life.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Again, just a theory.
Just a theory. What is not a theory is the fact that a lot of people don't get enough of the right vitamins that they need for their bodies.
Oh, fact. Yes.
Yes. And Ritual is there to help. They obsessively researched vitamins specifically for women. So they packed them full of all the stuff we're not good at getting in our diets. And I love them because they smell and taste like mint instead of like garbage, like most vitamins. And I'm able to take them at the end of the day, every day as a routine. And they never make me feel sick. And they give me that omega-3 and vitamin D, all that stuff that we all need. And they are time released, so you can eat them or take them on an empty stomach. Better health doesn't happen overnight, and right now Ritual is offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Fill in the gaps of your diet with Essential for Women, a small step that helps support a healthy foundation for your body. Visit ritual.com/braincandy to start your ritual today. That's 10% off during your first 3 months at ritual.com/braincandy. Speaking of dance, I saw this beautiful article in the New York Times. They have a new, I guess you'd call, not a category, what's that word? Whatever. There's a new thing in the New York Times called past tense, and they've hired a team of people to go through the archives and find cool or special or beautiful things to reprint and repackage. And they put out an article about all the images they found in their archives of dance, and the past tense team was saying that some of the most compelling images in their archives are of dancing. And they were saying that it's because the way that we move our bodies changes subtly over time with cultural trends and musical trends. And so you can really capture a historical moment through images of people dancing. You think about sock hops or disco.
Yes.
You might think, well, it's just all dancing, but it looks very different depending on the moment in time. And then they had Misty Copeland, who's the gorgeous...
Oh, my God. Is she not amazing?
She's amazing. She
looks like a work of art herself. Like,
yeah.
that
She's
body.
Tremendous.
Oh, what she can do with it.
Yeah,
Man,
she's one of the most famous ballet dancers in the world, and she's a woman of color and works to try to get more representation in the dance community because it is quite of a monolith, unfortunately, of white folks. And she was pointing out in one of the images, it was an image of a bunch of young black children that were in tutus and tights, and they were wearing not official, what do you call those, ballet slippers? They were wearing tennis shoes, and she was saying, you know, that's very common in the African-American community where they might not have all of the access to the things that the traditional troops have. But the thing that she pointed out was that the tights are pink, and it's a subtle way for the community to say, you don't belong because your skin doesn't match those tights without actually saying it.
Ooh.
I was really struck by that.
Yes.
It's something you don't think about when you have pink skin.
That is subtle, but not so subtle. I was watching an episode of Blackish where the daughter in Diane, she's the youngest daughter, and she's talking about how she's the darkest one in her family. And there's this scene where she's sitting next to a little white girl in the nurse's office, and the white girl gets a Band-Aid on her knee, and then Diane gets a Band-Aid on her knee, and she looks down and sees like it totally doesn't match.
Yep.
And you just know the thought that's going through this little girl's head.
Yep.
It's like, that's subtle, but not, I mean, like, what the heck?
Well, and what's the name of the crayon that, I think it was Nude all those years?
Flesh.
Yeah, Flesh crayon that's pink and peach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly the same thing.
Yep.
By saying, well, this is the prototype, and if you don't match it, well, are you a real person?
Yep, we got to definitely be aware of those kind of things, and you know.
That's why I love Misty.
You know what's so funny? I had a dream last night that you and I were talking about the importance of, oh my God, this is so weird. It's all coming back to me now. I had a dream that you and I were sitting on like a fountain in like a square in Italy, and we were having a discussion about how if you see somebody being like either covertly or overtly racist, or you see a microaggression, that you absolutely have to call it out. And it is our duty as white women to be the ones to talk about this and bring awareness to this. And then Michelle Obama was overhearing us and stepped in and said, I'm really happy you girls are doing that. And that was the end of the dream.
Oh my God.
I totally dreamt that last night.
Your dreams are so awesome.
Yeah, Michelle Obama was like giving us the thumbs up for making sure that we as white women call out racism and fight against it when we see it.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like I'm on the lookout.
Me too. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to say, if I see something, I say something.
I always look to see who the cops have pulled over. And if it's a person of color, I will pull over.
Oh, really? Good, Sue.
Yeah, because I want to know what's going on.
Oh, that's actually smart. Yeah, we got to get together and
Right? Because I don't trust those fools, the cops sometimes. No offense to cops. I just am cynical because of what's happened so much. But it's
a lot of people
scary.
are cynical. It makes sense, yeah.
But I also don't want to be one of those like white savior types. So it's like kind of a balance for me.
Right. I mean, you have to like
I've got this.
Empower the other person to be an advocate for themselves, but be supportive of them in whatever they need to do that.
Yeah.
but then again, what the heck do I know? I'm just like trying to do something to make some sort of change to help in any way to try to change the tides over here.
It always feels like I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I am going to try.
Yeah.
You got to keep
learning.
learning.
You know what? I think if you just say that, look, I'm going to get this wrong. Like, when I was working with the military, I said, look, I don't know. I'm really, I don't know about the ranks. I don't know about the protocol. I don't know about a lot of this stuff. If I say something that's wrong, please tell me, because it is never my intention. And people just want to hear that. Once you say, I'm probably going to get it wrong. What do you like to be referred to as? What do you da-da-da-da? They'll let you know, and it feels good. There
was a great article about the importance of pronouncing people's names correctly in school.
Yes, I read that.
Yeah. I totally agree that if somebody has what we would consider an unusual name and then repeatedly it's mispronounced or people don't put in the effort to learn how to say it correctly, that can be damaging, especially to children.
Yep.
In the classroom.
I was reading in there, I don't know if it was the same article or something that I clicked on after that, that was saying that this has affected politics for a really long time, because if you're say you're voting and you don't really know anything about the people who are running or anything about their backgrounds, you're more likely to blindly vote for a person whose name sounds whiter if you're white. And so that affects the outcome, and you could it's a bad thing.
The viral video of the women's basketball coach who was asked about being a woman coach, and she went on this great rant about all of it, and essentially was saying people hire people who look like them, and that's a problem, because that's why we end up with white men in women's basketball, and it shouldn't be 90% men in women's basketball. But if you have the top person hiring people that looks like him and so on, you have to have somebody breaking that cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was just this other clip. I don't know who it was. It was a black man who's a politician who was interviewing a board or panel of CEOs from these big companies, and he said, "Okay, so I'm looking in front of me. There's a panel of 10 men, and he said, all of you look like white men. Raise your hand if you are not somebody who identifies as a white man." And none of them raised their hand. He said, let the record show none of them are raising their hands. And he said, you guys talk a lot about diversity and inclusion and how that's important in your companies. Raise your hand if you feel like the person in line for your job position could be a person of color or a woman. None of them raised their hands.
No.
He said, let the record show none of them are raising their hands. And then it was how can we be talking about this if the next generations every single time are the same people running the show? And this goes back to what we were talking about when we were angry about the astronauts and the women who you got a bunch of men, they're not going to know. You got to have some diversity and representation on there. Hello.
Yeah, and it might be a little bit of a pain in the
powerful.
ass. You might have to do a little bit more work, but you're going to make a change.
Yeah.
Did you read about how Beyonce supposedly walked out of a meeting with Reebok because their team wasn't diverse enough?
Oh, no, I didn't, but you go, girl.
She went in the meeting and supposedly she said, yes, is this the team that would be working on my line with me? And they said, yes. And she said, well, these people don't look like me, and I'm out of here.
Yes!
And she ended up working with a different company.
That's why I love her.
And I really love that, because when I go into meetings now, I go in with my partner Molly, and she'll say, I looked on their website and they have a lot of people of color, they have women, and it's in high up positions. She'll go and look before we go into the meeting, which great. I think is really great habit to get into. Yeah.
And now that you say that, when I did that panel and I had 1, 2, 3, probably 12 higher ranking military officials in there. Mm-hmm. It was the most diverse crowd I've ever. There were 2 women of color, let's see. There was one black woman, 2 black men, 1 woman who was of Asian descent. There was like mix, 50-50 women and
great.
men, and a lot of them had accents and were from like, it was so great. And I'm like, this is so awesome. Like it is not talking to a, like this, what is the word? Homogeneous? Is that the word? Or heterogeneous?
No, homogeneous.
Yeah, homogeneous crowd.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it makes a difference because then you learn things, and you just don't when you're with people that, like, I joke about how you and I look so much alike, and I do hate that because luckily you're queer, so we have that difference going for us. But it's really a better situation when you have a room full of people that do not look alike.
And then we got to talk about different cultures and how they deal with sexual assault, and how, you know, we talked about bringing shame to families and people not wanting to talk about it in their family of origin, and what this means, and like male and female roles and different, like we talked about all of that in a really, really deep and rich like way, with a bunch of different voices and different opinions. And I did more, like, I really, in these kind of opportunities to have these discussions, say, like, what is it that you need? What, tell me what you guys are seeing right now. And that, like, to kick off the conversation, I'm trying really hard to be a teacher rather than the preacher.
That's great.
Yeah. And it was really successful in that group because I think it was so mixed and diverse.
Yeah. And because you're listening. Another thing that's successful is BioClarity. If you guys have listened to this show at all, you know I have problem skin. It's so embarrassing. I have felt humiliated for many, many days of my life, especially after I had my son. My hormones changed. I don't know what was cooking, but things got real ugly. And BioClarity did the trick for me. I use the Clear Skin Routine. It's a 3-step regimen. It gets rid of breakouts, clears and calms the skin. It's packed with detoxifying nutrients. And here's the other thing. It's so affordable. If you guys are like me and have tried everything and you know how expensive a lot of these regimens can be, this is so much better. You can get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now, for our listeners, you'll receive 40% on a skincare routine. They also have the essentials routine that Sarah likes. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. You'll receive 40% on a skincare routine plus an additional 15% off everything on their website. It's an incredible deal, but you need to use our code, which is BioClarity, at checkout. So go to bioclarity.com and get 40% off skincare routines plus an additional 15% off everything on their website when you use the code Brain Candy. I also use their serum, which is soothing at the nighttime.
Additional 15% off of all the other stuff?
Yeah.
Because you got to try that. Have you tried that eye serum, the one
that's
that's like
what
the
I was
deep
just
puffer?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that is my now go-to morning routine. That works.
Yeah, it really does. These products
puffs all my eyes, both of them.
All of them. They're really great products, and they're made with the good stuff. It's paraben-free, sulfate-free, and they have a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. Okay. Yeah, dog. How about how apparently... Ooh, do you want to hear a murder story or a story about children going to the ER?
Oh, murder story.
Okay. There was a murder that happened, I don't know, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And the mother was killed, and the 3-year-old son told police that he saw Dada hurt his mom. And,
oh, my God.
But they didn't have a body. They just knew she was gone, and they can't really rely just on a 3-year-old's witness testimony.
Right.
And so they couldn't convict him, but the kid was traumatized, of course. And he said other things like, my dad tried to wake her up and he couldn't, things like that. And so the kid decided as he aged to try to, get restitution. And he took did a civil suit. He won the civil suit, which has a lower bar of, what do we call that? And so he did win that. He got millions of dollars in a settlement or whatever they call that. And then,
who's he suing?
His dad, a wrongful death.
Oh, okay,
suit.
cool.
Yeah.
God.
So the dad, was convicted in a civil
He knows
trial.
he did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then the judge gave the son the house that he grew up in, took it away from the dad and gave it to the son. So the son was renovating it to get rented out and then found her bones. Found his mom's skeleton in the backyard. We was putting in a pool.
Oh my God.
Right.
So they didn't have a body before?
Correct. They knew she was missing.
My God.
Right.
Where's Dad? They can't do anything, right? Because it's like double jeopardy?
No, they can.
They can. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they didn't try him the first time because all they had was the testimony. Yeah.
Oh my God. Good. Right. See? Yes. I am glad he didn't give up. I am glad he this would have never been found out had he not said, nope, I don't care. I'm right. I'm going to keep fighting.
He said that he was in therapy from the time he was 3.5 and still was traumatized. And he called his therapist and was like, I think I found my mom.
Oh my God.
Right?
This is why being a therapist is so exciting.
Do you love hearing people's secrets?
Yes. But I love hearing people's secrets, and more than anything, I love being the holder of their secrets.
Yes.
Like, people worry that confidentiality, oh my God, people are going to say stuff. No. I love being a locked box that you can hold, like, they tell me these secrets, and then I feel like I've been given this special gift to be the one to hold it. So I always abide by, like, confidentiality because I love being the holder of secrets.
Yes, and that's good for your personality, too. Like, it works. You're the right person for that.
Ooh, it's so good.
She never tells me anything, guys. It's tragic, but I respect her for it.
Oh, that's funny.
But I just cannot imagine what that would be like.
Is a crazy story.
It also mentioned in the article that children's testimony should be valued and that kids do not tend to lie about traumatic events. That
is totally true. Mm-hmm. That's why I believe that little boy who said the bear kept him safe when he was in the woods.
Good point.
I fully believe that kid.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Totes.
Do you think the bear did keep him safe?
Yes.
Oh my God, like it adopted him.
I think he cuddled up with the bear, yes. He stayed warm in the freaking woods when it was like raining for like 3 days.
Point.
I know, I feel like that happened. And because we talked about this before, if he doesn't register the bear as something fearful and doesn't secrete fear hormones that the bear then smells and that's what aggravates the bear or whatever, then there's no danger sensed between either of those species. And it's just like everybody's living in harmony and it's like, the best.
So you think that to a certain extent, the fear that we have for these creatures is what ends up being our doom?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I think that when we, you know how they say like, oh, dogs can smell fear and you have to like just relax around the dog or whatever, that if they notice that you're the same way you have a mom who's really has like really bad anxiety, the likelihood of that kid becoming anxious is higher. Mm-hmm. Because the kid like picks up on the vibes of the mother or whatever that is. So I think that when you have, like there is something hormonal, like with fear, like we smell different. Mm-hmm. And if that smell is how animals communicate this person is dangerous or this person is safe, it would give them information about how to react in that moment.
Yeah, right. Wonder what happens, remember that documentary, I think it was called Grizzly Man, about that guy that hung out with bears all the time and was mauled to death? That is an example where I don't think he was afraid, so I don't think that's what precipitated his
I
death.
think that's just a level of comfort where something happened. Maybe he did something that the bear took as a
threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
and
something
the bear
happened.
Reacted by that. Yeah, death. Oh, clearly. But
that
I think
movie
with the little
was
boy,
freaky.
there was no. I didn't watch it.
If you haven't seen it, it's because the camera is running when the mauling occurs.
Oh no!
Yeah, so they don't show the. You can't see it, but you can hear it.
Oh God! That's awful.
Your reactions are the best.
Because I'm like having chills everywhere because I just think, oh.
Right. But I mean, he was a little bit asking for it. I was thinking about that though. Did you see the Netflix Bear Grylls Choose Your Own Adventure style show they have?
No, but that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's great for kids because he'll say, should I use this rope or this, I don't know,
fun
machete for whatever. And then you choose which one and then see what happens. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Yeah.
I love that. That's cool. It's like a Can You Survive based on, that sounds fun. I'm totally going to watch that.
Yeah, Lincoln loves it. And it made me think of, he kind of reminds me of a mix between Gordon Ramsay and the Crocodile Hunter in terms of personality. And I was wondering what you think about people like the Crocodile Hunter who are amazing advocates for wildlife, but kind of push the boundaries of maybe what some people would think is appropriate in terms of entertainment versus being good to animals. Like almost like provoking them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I wonder if there's because that was a while ago.
Yeah,
really.
The Crocodile Hunter thing was, yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe now he wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think maybe we just know more now. Mm-hmm. And somebody like that who loves animals so much would adapt their, I think they would correct their behavior if they saw, wow, this does have this effect on, whatever. Like they would change.
I think he sort of saw it as he's educating people and that's far more beneficial than if you were to not have the show at all. Yeah. But I guess some people think he would get carried away sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like anything you think about the reality shows we were on where they just kind of have to push it. It's that I'm like the frog in boiling water and you don't notice when it just gets hot.
You took it too far.
Bit.
Right.
Yeah. And you just don't notice because it's slow,
I mean, the Bear Grylls show is heavily produced. It's designed to be choose your own adventure rather than, this is really happening as you're seeing it. Right. But do you think that any of it is accurate, that he really is surviving? Maybe not on this show, but on his real show?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, why not? Or at least using those same skills that would. I don't even care. I just like watching it. Like,
we're just killing dead air here, Sarah.
All of those, God, it's so funny. I think all of those skills are really helpful if you were in a similar situation. And I think learning them, I used to love that. I still do love that, but it's not anymore. I think that show Dual Survivor.
What's that?
Oh, it's so good. So they have two guys. One who's like a naturalist who goes without shoes. He studies like indigenous people, and how they live off the land, and he's very much like natural and with the earth. And then you have an ex-Navy SEAL who's also equally good at surviving in the wild, but has a totally different approach. And they have to work together to survive, and they really do drop him off in the middle of nowhere, and they have to get back, and they give him a real scenario. So they're like, okay, you were parachuting into here, and all you have are the cords from your parachute and this piece of a lighter.
No
and
way.
And then they have to survive. And one of the craziest things they did is that one of the guys cut his arm, I don't know if he intentionally cut it open or if it got cut open, but he used gunpowder to cauterize the wound and seal it.
No.
Yep.
That is disgusting, and I can't even deal with it.
And they taught you how to use a thermal, one of those blankets that's the emergency blankets, and how you could use that next to a fire and put it up and almost create even more heat by using that as a reflective. All these really good survival techniques that, real or fake, they're effective and they're really good. And I learned a lot from that show.
I can't believe he used gunpowder on a cut.
Yep.
Why does it cauterize
spread it out? And he needed something to seal the wound, and because it's fire, you burn the wound, it'll stop the bleeding.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Not so. I don't even know the details of it, but if you have it seals the wound, it stops it from I'll just Google it, for Christ's sake. Where's our doctor's friends when we need them?
It's okay. I'll take your word for it. It's fine.
Yeah, take my word for it.
I just never heard that.
Come back to you.
Fire?
Come back to you on the next episode with, yep.
Gosh, all right. Well, that's good to know, everybody, that if you're looking to survive and you have some gunpowder handy.
Yeah, but like, don't do that. Okay, so here's an example. You know when they like heat up a knife and they put the knife on the wound? Have you heard about that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I wasn't in the Civil War, Sarah.
That's true. Okay. It's like, it makes it so, like, it lowers the risk of infection and stuff. I don't know what it is, but somehow it works. I'll look it up, and then in the next episode, I'll bring you tons of info.
Everybody.
Please, God, go to the hospital if you get cut.
Don't try this
call
at
911.
home.
Do not try anything that we said at home.
Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe. We love you guys.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.